upper body mechanics. Bending with the knees, down with your back. You get the knuckle out. Then, there's internal components inside this coupler that allow this stuff to happen. First of all, you have your thrower. This thing right here. That allows the knuckle itself to swing open when operating that pin lifter. And this device right here, the locking block. This is what keeps this knuckle secure up against the coupler when the trains are together, allowing them not to come apart. If any of these components come apart, the train separates and goes into emergency. And when we talk about emergency, we're talking about this, the air hose, the air brakes. The main component of the train itself operates on air. All right? What you see on the engines is just the power. That's what makes the train move. But what stops it is all air brakes. Essential to the train's operation. All right, so we will take apart this locking block, which is what we call it, that holds the knuckle in place. Time slip. Right there is a locking block. Comes out just like that. Very simple. Not much to it. And then you have the lock lifter. This device right here pushes up on this locking block. Just pin up through here. All right. Very simple. Not much to it. Now, if we were to change the pin lifter, we would take this counter key out, which sometimes this happens quite often. We get a lot of bent pin lifters, broken knuckles and stuff like that, so we're doing this stuff in the outbound yards where the trains depart all the time. So we're either changing these out by simply removing that counter key and just taking it out and putting a new one in. It's as simple as that. When it comes to air hoses, we get these a lot too. An essential part of air hoses is this device right here. Without this device, the train hose would hang down. If it were to hang down, it might get caught on something and the train could come apart again, allowing the train to dump its air and go into emergency. That's one thing that this eliminates. As long as this is here, it helps save that from happening. Also, in your basic components of the freight car, you have your handbrake. Essential to leaving the car by itself. When there's no air like this car has no air whatsoever in it right now. So as you can see, the piston is in the release position, which means it's all the way into the brake cylinder. If this car had air in it and we had applied the air, this piston would have been out, setting up all the brakes on all the wheels. All right? And I'm tripping on myself. That handbrake right there will allow us to secure the car without using the air. So we can have the handbrake set and it'll keep this car from moving. As you can tell, the handbrake is not set on this car in particular because we wanted to show you some other things. In order to do that, we chalked the wheels so that this car would not move. Okay? So, changing the pin lifter. As you can see, Daryl's already taken apart that. And it's just as simple as getting the lock lifter out sometimes, and this one's rather difficult, but that's all right. Just like that. It all comes apart. Pretty simple, right? You think you can do it? Let's do it. All right. Okay, JR is going to show us how we change a brake shoe.
How many different types of couplers are there?
There's two different couplers. There's an F coupler and an E coupler.
I know.
An F coupler has a double shelf so that, well, it's kind of hard to show you now, but it has two shelves. And what it does, it prevents the couplers from going up and down. If a knuckle was to go, here, here's either way to just demonstrate it. The shelf would be like this. This is your knuckle right here. The shelves would be like this, where my thumbs are. Everybody see that?
Yep.
Prevents it from going up and down like that. Whereas an E knuckle is just like this, and it can go all the way. Alright? Okay, so they are.
I didn't get the picture.
Before we get started with changing out the brakes, the most important thing I like to show you guys, if you look down there, there's a sign between the two rails. Bullet flag. Safety mechanism to keep the trains from coming in on our track is we tell them to switch down this line against movement from coming in here so we can actually work on the track. We're governed by the Federal Railroad Administration where we cannot go on, under, or between equipment unless we have a blue flag applied. So just so everybody knows the track is blocked, it's right here.
Correct.
Jerry, was that you on the trolley?
Now, as you notice, Daryl's climbing the car
How you doing?
with full contact. And what I mean by full contact is 3-point contact. At either one time, he's climbing the car with at least 2 hands, or 1 foot, or 2 feet and 1 hand. At any time, he knows he's secure on that car. If he releases himself with only 2 points of contact, you can easily fall off that car. So it's imperative that we use the 3-point contact to protect. And Daryl released the handbrake now, so we can now demonstrate the brake shoe change. For those of you that are over here, you may want to swing around and take a look. Mayor, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
I'm J.R. Miller. I've been here 35 years. I'm a carver for the Union Pacific Railroad. I work out of Global One. We do stacks. But today this is a gondola car that handles rock. And these chutes open up, and that's how they spread all the gravel along all the tracks here. Right now I'm attempt to change the brake shoe, and they can just tell you what's going on. Yeah, I don't mind you observing. Total safety coach. Good plan there, Derek. This is the brake shoe. I don't know if you guys can see it. You'll see it when I take it out. But anyway, this is a brake shoe. This is what stops the wheels from turning when the brakes are applied. And
How long does it take a train to stop, JR?
Alright?
How long does it take a train to stop?
Depends on how fast it's going.
So if I race around a set of lights and what do you call it?
At the crossing,
the crossings, and a train's approaching me at 60 miles an hour,
you didn't make it. You definitely didn't make it. The first thing we want to do, because these cars have air in it, right now the piston's bled out. First thing we want to do is cut the car out. And this is the air cutout over here. Always have to make sure the car is cut out, because if the car is not cut out, it can have air in the system. You want to make sure there's no air in there, so if the car was a setup, it wouldn't pinch your finger.
What JR was pulling on just there is the release rod. This bleeds off all the air inside the car so that JR knows that there's no air in it. What he's pulling up now is the brake shoe key. It's the key that actually locks the brake shoe into what we call the brake beam. The long beam that goes from wheel to wheel on one axle. And it pushes up on that wheel. And there you go. This is a standard brake shoe. Alright? The standard brake shoe.
on it.
And yeah, what's that, Oli?
There's a lot of meat left on
There's a
there.
lot of meat left, that's right, so we wouldn't be changing this shoe. But in this case we are. We're not making money though. Anyhow, in normal conditions, though, for shoe changeouts, we would want to change it down where it would show the backing plate. And the backing plate is actually this metal piece right here. And anytime these shoes get worn down metal to metal, that gets down to the backing plate. That's an FRA defect. That's what the government calls us on. We go by the FRA rules and what their standards are. But at the UP, we also have other standards. At the UP, we take brake shoes that are 3/8 inches and less. So that means we're taking not just the backing plate where it's showing metal to metal, but we're taking a little bit of the meat too. All right? That's to keep these trains safe, rolling down the line for those of you who have the railroads in the backyards. Okay? JR, you want to put this back in there and show us how it's done?
Sure.